Alright, well, I just got my... Alright, here we can see. I know the sound's gonna be loud, but you kind of see that when I started it up, it was pulling right at 10 amps. I'm just testing it outside. Been getting everything to burn off of it. When I got it, the fuel lines were put in reverse. So I went out, got a fuel filter. I got to get the better fuel line. I put a fuel filter in it. And this isn't a GTYORUS, however you pronounce it. It was some other weird name, but it said it was supposedly had the upgraded panel. From what I guessed, I don't know if it is or not. I thought the upgraded ones from other YouTube videos that I saw said you're supposed to have like 6 fans in the window there. Tells you if you got the new panel. And yeah, other than that, pretty straightforward. Just check them out real good and everything. I didn't do the startup procedure and videotaping it. There's plenty of those out there, but when you first get it, on mine, because they said this pump runs on a piston in there, I pre-filled this a little bit with about an ounce of 3-in-1 oil for like hair clippers or something, just sort of lubricate that first before it tries to suck the fuel up in it. And so I don't know, this year I had to reround that bracket because I said they had everything backwards. So seems to be okay. If anyone thinks that angle's not good enough, they said they between 30 and a 45 degree, but yeah. Well, I run a little bit here just to make sure everything's running. I don't develop no leaks. Definitely got to get some legs for it, that pipe. But other than that, it started right up. I said the priming procedure, you just hold these 2 buttons here at the same time. Here, the 2 up arrow, and hit a come on, and it'll start pumping. You got to hold it. You let off, it stops. Let off, it stops. I just held it until I seen it start actually pumping the fuel down through here on the back side here, and let it go for a few extra clicks, let off, and hit it run a few more. You don't really want to over flood it or it's going to smoke a lot. Mine didn't smoke, so they said this was an 8K. The speedometer, or the temp thing here goes up to 6. It don't go up to 8, so I doubt it's an 8K anyhow. But yeah, and it's blowing out some really warm ass heat. I don't got my thermal gun here, but we'll see how it goes. In the next test I'll do, get it to a battery with a battery tender on it. This is just going to be for heating my basement and my one downstairs, which is ungodly expensive to heat during the winter. So yeah, all right, thanks. All right, YouTubers. Well, I'm trying to figure a cheaper way to heat my lower downstairs when I'm down here. And got this Chinese diesel heater. Had it for a little bit, but decided just to get around to it. Don't have no idea. I had to go back up and watch YouTube videos on how to put this thing together. Set a box for a summer and a half. But in a little quirky makeshift way just to test it. I did a test run earlier outside before it started raining, and burn off all the excess on the pipe and stuff. But I'm gonna see if my Thunderbolt solar battery, 35 milliamp hour, with a battery charger on here, will be enough to power it. Now I know when I used my power supply, this thing was drawing 10 amps, 11 amps. Needle was jerking around a little there before it finally started up, and then after that it literally drew nothing that I could tell on that amp meter. So we'll go ahead and get the battery hooked up and primer and go about it. Alright, and as you can see, it's starting to ramp up. I might have over-primed it a little bit. I can smell diesel. Let's see. So it takes it a few minutes to get up the power. I'm just using one of those little AIMS things. I got some power meters coming, but they didn't come in today. If anyone knows if this is a new controller, let me know. Some videos said the new ones have like a little blade or fan symbol, has 6 of them. That's only got 3. Don't really care. I don't know what the new feature is or what the old one does, but yeah. In the remote, it takes these little tiny GTYORUS screwdriver set that I don't even got. You can take it apart just to get the battery in it, so they said it don't come with a battery. But, yeah, well. Yeah, so she's running. Got it pretty much all the way full. You can't see with the cover here, but just right here. Here's like the actual full line, but it's just below that, and the cover's kind of covering up. We're going to run it on 3 for a little bit. There it goes. Still heating up. Can't check the battery bolts one-handed, and I can't find my camera stand, of course. And for right now, just temporary, I got a flex exhaust with the main exhaust running into it out the window. That'll get sealed up and better set up. I got some heat wrap too to wrap the exhaust pipe down underneath there. But this is just a little test here to see. I gotta get my carbon monoxide detectors up. But there we go. Pump's kicked on now. Yeah, when I got this, it's a company I never heard of. I'll put a picture of it up there. They had the pump and everything on backwards. They had to do that. I put a fuel filter in it because most of these don't come with a fuel filter. And I got to get the better fuel line. But just for testing purpose, I think it'll be okay. And she's revving up now. About to take off. Alright, I can feel the heat now coming out of it. Getting up the temperature. It's about 3-4 minutes before it actually get up. There it goes, starting to mellow out. Don't know what that rattling is. The fan seemed to spin freely when I got it, but yeah, she's getting warm. It's probably 50, 60, 70 degree temperature going right now. I don't know how to read Celsius, but it's definitely getting a little warm on my hand or arm here. I think the hardest part on these is at startup, where it draws the most amps on your battery. This battery probably isn't ideal. You probably want to get a deep marine cycle with the battery. There it goes, glow plug kicked off. So my amps now should have ramped back down. And the battery charger, hopefully here, when I check it, is gonna throw them bolts back in, and we'll check it back, see if it's staying up around 13. I just wanted to show that to you guys there to let you see what it looks like. Temporarily set up, and I'll check back later. I'm going to let it run for a little while, just a couple hours, and see how much fuel it burns on 3. Might put it on 2, and let's see how long it sits on that. So, yeah. Alright guys, I know this ain't a very long video, but I'll keep it up there. Alright, thanks. Alrighty. It's been running almost an hour and 40 minutes now. So let's see what our temperature is. 61.1 degrees. 63.7. And the heater inside here, 63. Turn about 95 degrees on the casing. So, yeah, 98, 97. I did fun get my so it's around about 74 there, and we go down a little bit, goes up. That part running outside. So this part here is running pretty cool. That jumps up there pretty high, but mostly I was more worried about this here, and that's running fairly cool. And don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but when I had it filled up, this is about the full line, you can't really see it, and I had the fuel was just above where the case covers it there, because I didn't get it all the way full, and I can just barely see. If I shake it a little, I can see the fuel move in it. So that's at about an hour and 40. I'm gonna let it run a full 2 hours. I put it in automatic mode, dropped it down to 14 degrees Celsius, which is about 60 degrees, I think, if I remember right when I looked it up. I had to put the charger back on the battery, just like I thought. This battery is, after letting it run for about a half hour, I went from 13.8 on what the voltmeter said there, down to 12.56 in a half hour. So I don't think that battery would last as long. I didn't think it would. It's mostly for my ham radio stuff that I'm running a 100-watt solar power panel into it, and that works great for that. Yeah, I just wanted to show everyone that it's working pretty good. It's sipped very little fuel. Now I'll do a better test without the case on it. Yeah, I did my little hobo rig up there because I wanted the heat to actually blow into the other. Alright people, just wanted everyone to see that there. I'm going to let it run about another 20 minutes and I'm going to shut it down. And we'll call it a night and a pretty good successful test. And like I said, I do got some power meters that's coming in. That way I can constantly monitor what's being pulled in and out. I got a 2-pack for 20 bucks on Amazon. I paid that for my first one that I bought, and they're the exact, well, made by a different company, but they're the same one. But yeah, other than that, one more quick look-a-loo on this little makeshift setup for the moment. And oh yeah, I got my fire extinguisher here. So, alright people, thanks. Hope this might have helped someone out for what you pay for them. We'll see how much, how more economical it is. Obviously, I'm not going to run this thing indoors when I'm not here to keep an eye on it. So, alright, thanks guys.